Good evening, afternoon, morning, whatever time it is for you. It is time for the final case of CSI Deadly Intent with Crime Scene Impersonator. Well, let's start this off. Okay, a small room. Oh, look, it's the doctor. Does it mean that person passed away at the mic? Dun dun dun. I guess so.
I don't have a positive ID yet, but I think we may be looking at Mr. Floyd Collister, also known as Marcel, the grande dame of the Las Vegas female impersonators.
Okay.
You a fan?
Mrs. Doubtfire is more my taste.
Mrs. Doubtfire is pretty fun.
Smell of booze is
I
pretty
like,
strong.
Well, I imagine
Who
Floyd's
won't
probably
do
in
that?
his mid to late 70s, so if he tied one on last night, accidents will happen, along with maybe a stroke or a heart attack.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you might really be right about tying one on. See his wrists? Looks like ligature marks.
Someone wanted to make sure their drinking buddy didn't leave too soon.
Didn't leave until he was dead.
She, you mean, until she was dead. I'm just saying.
Is it she? I don't know. We're just gonna go with she, because that's what they're looking like. So
Hey, good to see you. I can always depend on the kindness and assistance of my fellow CSIs. I just got started. You're welcome to jump in on the scene with me, or you can talk to our one and only witness over there.
what is up with your outfit?
You mean how she died? Well, at first blush, it's tough to say. Could be natural causes, but the special circs are those ligature marks on the wrists and ankles.
Oh, also on the ankles.
We'll know more once we get her over to Doc Robbins. Doesn't look like it.
Robbery or anything?
There's cash in the register, and nothing really stands out as being out of place or missing.
I've never heard of it either.
It's been around a pretty long time. I remember I almost had my bachelorette party here. Not that my bachelorette party was that long ago, but anyway,
Well, let's do it to it.
after you. Our victim has tentatively been identified as Floyd Collister, but apparently he's better known as Marcel. Brass says he's known to be one of the best female impersonators in Las Vegas. I believe the term he used was grande dame.
Well, I guess I don't know on the pronoun thing. There we go. That's a really
Someone's
big
gotten into the
fingerprint.
whiskey. Nice work.
Right? Like, look how huge that thing is. That's okay.
Leaves no doubt about whose club this is.
Yeah, it's very flashy too, which I guess with what they're trying to go for, it's probably good, right?
Hello, sir. We're with the Las Vegas
What's up with
Crime
your
Lab.
outfit?
Can we get your name?
Sure. Name's Gary Beaumont. I've been pretty much a regular here for, gosh, 30
Are those
years. Give or
holes in your
take, right?
sweater?
Everybody knows me. I even have my own chair over there. That's mine. Nobody else gets to sit there but my butt.
Oh,
I found her,
Describe it.
yes.
or
I
found-
showed up about 9 o'clock for Bloody Mary Sundays. That's what Marcel calls it. And I'm walking in and passing right by the stage, and that's when I saw her, face down. I got up there, and I tried to wake her up, but she wasn't breathing, and
Oh
I couldn't
man,
save
he
her.
touched the
I don't
body.
have any kind of training. I used to know CPR, but, you know, I just called 911. That's all I thought I could really do.
Anything out of place?
Besides Mr. Collister, that is.
Mr. Collister? I'm sorry, don't you mean Marcel?
Yes, sorry. It's a bit confusing. Marcel.
I didn't mean to jump on you. It's just that Marcel was truly a lady. The most kind, gracious, generous, loving, feminine spirit I've ever known. As for Floyd Collister, that person's dead to me.
You ever see her drink?
Well, she did own a bar. I mean, I suppose you don't have to drink to own a bar, but Marcel did. Drink and own a bar. Both.
Your answer.
She also smoked like a chimney. Well, if a chimney smoked a pack and a half, and that Sherman's a day anyway. Miss Apprehension scolded her about it all the time.
Miss Apprehension. Who the heck is that?
I'm sorry. I wasn't quite clear whether Marcel was having some misapprehension about her health or there's actually a person named Misapprehension?
Oh no, she's not a person. She's a diva. The
Oh,
divine
gosh.
Miss A.
This guy's a
She's
fan.
been performing at the club for as long as I've been here. But you probably never heard of her, 'cause Marcel only let one star shine here. Hers.
Do you know Misapprehension's real name?
You probably want me to say her real name is Wallace Biganowski, but she'll always be Miss A to me.
I like how they put the real name in quotes. I mean, if this was made nowadays, it'd say dead name. Actually, this case wouldn't even exist because, you know, you wouldn't want a drag queen to be a victim.
Would you say they got along?
Oh, no. No. Oil and water. Cats and dogs. Betty Davis and Joan Crawford. I mean, those two fought constantly. But they needed each other. Marcel was the star around here, but she was just awful with money. Miss A kept this place in business.
Did things ever get violent between the two of them?
No, never. They yelled a lot, but I think they really loved each other. Oh, no. Poor Miss A. She'll be devastated when she finds out. I should probably try to find her in case she needs a shoulder to cry on.
You know, this guy reminds me of the oh no guy from Family Guy.
Let me think. No, that's really all that stands out to me. If I remember something, can I call you? Do you have a card? You don't think they'll close the club down, do you?
Well, your main person is gone, so
Enough booze for any occasion.
nice setup, I guess. We got more of these gaudy pictures. My goodness. Oh, look, you have the different color palettes, but instead of it being just one picture, it's 4 separate ones. That's terrific. Oh, you got more pictures here. Okay. Oh, anything in these couches? Weird. The cutscene made it look like they were just basic chairs here. It does not look like basic chairs. What's over here? I don't care about that.
The mic's off.
Uh-huh. That's cool. There we go.
I'm tempted, but no.
What we got here? Okay, a picture of Marcel. Cat picture, that's cool. Is that a carton? No, it's a pill count.
Looks like Marcel forgot to take her pills.
Okay. Anything else that I probably need to drink, you know? Not gonna sugarcoat it. I think that's everything there. What is this? What is that stuff?
You can smell the alcohol, right? BAC
No.
might have contributed to the death.
Okay.
I'll have Doc Robbins send someone down and pick up the body. Whoa, so that's what Marcel looks like in the morning before she puts on her face.
She's been a fixture in this town for as long as I can remember, but I don't think anyone's seen her like this, at least not in public.
We pulled her, well, Floyd Collister's DMV records. He was born in 1938, which means Marcel is 71 years old, but she looks much younger, don't you think?
Well, what time taketh away, cosmetic surgery giveth back. To some degree, anyway. I'll check her medical records for the precise number of procedures.
Okay. You know, I hate to be a stickler for detail about this, but we haven't really positively identified this victim. We didn't recover any form of identification on the body or at the scene. So before we go any further, let's just make sure this is Marcel or Floyd Collister or
It's Marcel.
whoever or whatever.
Get it right.
All right?
Don't be detonating. Dead naming. And look at those things on the wrists. No, I want to look down at the wrists. Look at that. Really torn up. And then here. And then the weird toes again. And a seam in the foot, too. Nothing on the tray. Fine.
I
Prince.
love the easy ones. Here you go.
Hey, I got a card. I think they call them a tin card or something.
You know, they say celebrity deaths come in threes. I'm certainly not anxious to see another. Here, I found some skin under the victim's fingernails. I collected a sample for DNA. I guess Marcel may have gotten a piece of her killer.
Maybe.
What can you tell us about those contusions around his wrists and ankles?
Well, they're definitely consistent with ligature marks. The development of the bruising suggests the victim was
Should they be
restrained
saying
ante-mortem.
his? I don't know.
I also noticed a larger contusion on the back of her head, also
See,
ante-mortem.
he's saying it right.
She might have been struck from behind.
Catherine's just insensitive.
She died of respiratory depression due to alcohol poisoning. It's as though she were tied down and then the alcohol strangled her. Terrible.
But it's possible that all this could have been just a horrible accident, right?
Actually, I don't think it's possible. Respiratory or heart failure usually occurs when one's blood alcohol level is somewhere around 0.4%. Now, most people in relatively good health tend to pass out around 0.3. Marcel's BAC was 0.5%. I don't believe there's any way someone at her age, even as healthy as she seemed to be, could have consumed that much alcohol on her own.
That's a lot.
Force-fed alcohol. It's like some fraternity prank gone bad.
Yeah, but it actually reminds me of a serial killer case my boss, when I first started here, used to talk about a lot. What did they call the guy? The Barber Street Boozer.
The Barber Street Boozer. Yeah, wasn't it in the mid-70s? I think 1975. I was a little girl, but I kind of remember people talking about him.
Well, I'm sure it seemed particularly deviant at the time. What was it? 4 Johns trolling for transvestite prostitutes. They wind up dead, all of them force-fed alcohol.
You know, if I'm not mistaken, all 4 of those murders occurred in the same neighborhood as Marcel's Cabaret, and the Barber Street Boozer...
Was never
got caught.
Yep.
You could have a cold case on your hands.
I'll put in the request for the cold case files on the Barber Street Boozer. It'll be worth it just to see if there are any other similarities between this case and those unsolved.
Well, thanks.
That's what I live for.
Time to go check out chemicals and stuff. Okay, there's our victim's DNA. So we know that's the victim. Now these... Yeah, I know how to do this, guys. These do not match. I don't see a blue, green, or a yellow, green, blue. A yellow, blue, red. Yellow, yellow, green. Yellow, yellow, blue. Okay. They don't match. Well. We got two chemicals. Let's start with the pills. Searcheroo. Yeah, that gets it. That one? No. This one. There we go. Matched up.
The pills we recovered at the scene were prescribed to Floyd Collister. They're hydramazine. It's a heart medication. So, if we run an extended tox panel and find him in Marcel's system, that'd be positive ID.
That's one way to go about it. Let's look at this. It's probably alcohol, right? No, that's not it. That one looks good. That one does not. How about that? That fits. You know, it'd be really cool is if they had one that was like that, but it had more bars, so it could throw you off.
Water, grain alcohol, and traces of wood esters, tannins, and lactones. Whiskey. And not the cheap stuff.
Okay. Well, we got that stuff. The next was a fingerprint, right? First, we'll check this one. Nope. Okay. Yeah, I know how to do this game. We're in the last chapter. No matches. Okay, so the person who touched that box has not been in the database.
Hey. They've all got their rough spots. We'll break it eventually.
Well then.
We're looking for any sign of the drug, hydramazine.
Hydramazine. It's a heart medication that works to expand the blood vessels. I don't see any evidence that this victim was using it, though.
Oh,
So
that's
not Floyd
interesting.
Collister. Just what we need. An impersonator of an impersonator.
Is this Marcel's thing?
Oh, good.
You know,
You're still here.
I just don't feel like being anywhere else right now. This place always felt like home. But now that Marcel's dead, I just don't know.
Marcel's not.
We're
dead.
hoping you can
It's
help
a
us with a
prank.
case of mistaken identity.
Right?
What do you mean?
Would you mind coming down to the coroner's office with us?
Sure, I can do that. But you mean it might not be Marcel? I don't understand. But sure, no problem. Whatever you need, I'll come with you right now. That's not... Oh, no. That's not Marcel.
Oh no.
It's not. Do you know who it is, Mr. Beaumont?
But I saw her. I saw her with my own eyes, I'm telling you. But this... Oh, dear God, that's Wally. I can't believe it. That's Wally Beganowski. I mean, misapprehension. What the hell's going on?
Mr.
What
Beaumont,
is
we're so
going
very
on?
sorry. And we deeply appreciate your help. I can give you the name of someone if you need someone to talk to right now. And I promise we'll be in touch. Okay? Thank you.
What if he's the one that did it?
Looks as though Marcel just went from being our victim to being our prime suspect. I'll have Brass track down her home address and put a bolo out on her car. Or rather, his car, since it's still registered under Floyd Callister. While he's covering that, why don't we check out Mr. Biganowski's home? See what we can find there.
Well, okay, this is becoming interesting. So it really wasn't Marcel. It was misapprehension. Uh-huh.
Love what you've done with the place. Well, certainly defies stereotypes.
Yeah, I can see why you called me for backup. Tough neighborhood.
What? I don't have a piece. You want me to open the
Crime
door?
Lab, freeze! Hands where I can see them, now!
I'm Floyd Callister. Don't shoot, please.
Mr. Callister, we're here investigating the murder of Wallace Biganowski. Can you tell us where you were last night?
I can't. I can't talk right now. I forgot them back there. I'm supposed to take them every day.
You missed, like, a day. or
Riley,
two.
could you take Mr. Callister to get his medication? We'll stay and process the scene.
I'm on it.
Riley will call us when she gets back to the station. In the meantime, let's see if Wally or
This is
Floyd left behind
becoming
anything
interesting,
useful.
you know? Nope, nothing. Oh.
That's the
Well.
cigarette Callister was smoking. Could come in handy if we need his DNA.
Oh, yeah. I know what I'm gonna do.
Time for laundry. Ah, someone who knows how to use one.
Yeah, you just throw it in the dryer. What are you talking about? No, you plug this in, you wait for it to heat up, and then you have to lightly go over stuff. And usually you have like a spray that you can spray out too to help. Like, it's water. It's not really a spray of some type. It's just water. You spritz it on the thing, and then you don't touch the bottom of it. They get very hot. No one's got a big blister from that. So, boom. There you go. You've learned something new. I know kind of how an iron works. Nope. Why is there a picture of a kid on your fridge? I'm assuming it's all stock stuff.
My grandmother collected these.
Yeah, but these aren't the calamity plates, so it's not as cool. Oh, he's got more of these plates.
Quite the homemaker.
Look at those
I wonder
paintings.
if it's
Oh, I like the
homemade.
cat. Look at that cat picture. That's a good one.
It's password protected. We shouldn't use it without a reason anyway.
Oh, I bet we can get a reason. More of these pictures, okay.
Somebody never finish unpacking?
I don't know. Maybe they were moving in together? Well, okay. We'll go here next. Oh, there's a bottle on the ground. Did we miss that last time?
Oh, yes, the good stuff. Let's just make sure it gets back to the lab. In the bottle.
Bottle drink, so not a problem for me. I don't need the mic. I want. There we go. Huh. Oh, look. Stuff that I haven't looked at.
Looks like this Wallace Beganowski is angling for partial ownership in this club. And judging by this note, the negotiations aren't going well.
Interesting. Well, we've searched the area. You know, let's go check out that booze that we got. First things first, we go to it because it's, you know, a bottle. I'm looking to see if there's any fingerprints. I do not see any fingerprints. Well, okay. What's nice is we have the chemical from the... Yeah, that whiskey, right? And then we have this whiskey here. Oh, look, they're a match. Go figure.
The alcohol in the victim matches the alcohol in the bottle, which means it was a classic cork party.
Okay. I don't know what that means, so... You know. Oops. Time for some DNA.
That's Floyd Collister's DNA.
Uh-huh.
Hey, I can't speak for Marcel, but Floyd Collister is gonna be all right, and he's ready to talk. Come over to PD when you've wrapped up the scene.
Man, you're gonna make me go to PD. Yep. Well, okay. Hey, bud.
Mr. Collister, Wallace Beganowski was murdered in your club. He was found wearing your stage costume. Do you know why he would be dressed as your character, Marcel?
It's not a costume, and Marcel is not a character. I am Marcel. I would appreciate it if you would address me properly. I apologize. I meant no disrespect to your authority, but I felt you were demonstrating a disrespect for me, that's all. I understand you have a very difficult job to do. As for Wally spent nearly a lifetime in my shadow.
Why you calling him Wally? Shouldn't you be respectful to him?
But eventually he assumed the role of my understudy in the cabaret show. He was quite good at becoming me. The voice, the manner. And as you are obviously aware, my health is deteriorating, and I wanted, if something untimely should happen to me, I wanted him to take over, to carry on as Marcel.
Is that why Mr. Beganowski had plastic surgery? To look more like you, just in case?
That was part of it, of course. I suspect there was also a bit of unhealthy idol worship on Wally's part, but I saw no reason to dissuade him from trying to improve himself.
Okay. What are you doing in his
This
apartment?
question just sounds weird in my head, but here goes. Marcel, why were you hiding in Mr. Biganowski's closet?
I was hiding from the murderer. Now, when you two showed up, I suppose the closet may have been a Freudian slip. Look, I'm not trying to be cute here. I had gone back to the club after we'd closed to get my heart medication, which I'd forgotten. When I walked in, I saw Wally lying there up on the stage.
Agent called the police.
I wasn't sure what was going on, but I got scared, really scared. Certainly wasn't my finest hour, I will admit that. But if someone was trying to kill Marcel, then I needed to hide somewhere I wouldn't be found.
I like this. Yeah, this seems like a common theme too. I was watching more CSI today while working, and nobody apparently phones the police after something bad happens in this series.
I saw Wally lying there, yes. I saw those dreadful bruises on his wrists and on his ankles. I saw the bottle of booze, and I know Wally doesn't drink. Well, not like that. The very fact of the matter is, over the years, I've received death threats. A considerable number of them, so many that I stopped taking them seriously. I figured I can't stop being who I really am, and better to die in heels anyway. But you know, maybe I should have taken those threats more seriously. I should have at least talked to Wally about them. That's what I should have done.
Why
Probably
didn't you call the
tell
police?
Oh, honey, who gives a damn about an old No. I will not use that abominable word. It's not right.
No, it's
Let
not.
me just say,
Wow.
ma'am, that my experience with law enforcement over the years has not given me the greatest confidence that justice will be served for either me or my community.
I understand, Marcel, but times are changing.
Sure they are, but you think about how much they've really changed the next time you're walking down the street, just holding hands with your man. Then you try to imagine someone like me doing the same thing. Look, I was wrong, but I did what I did. I panicked and I ran away. I ran away to Wally's apartment, and I hid there. I guess I was thinking something like the killer would realize his mistake and keep coming after me.
Marcel, for the time being, for your own safety, we're not going to disclose the fact that you're alive. That is, if that's all right with you.
Oh. Did you touch the whiskey last night?
No, but it wouldn't have been a bad idea. In fact, I didn't touch a drop of alcohol all night. Wally and I were very close. Always.
Okay. Back to the lab we go. Why I didn't check this earlier, I couldn't tell you. I should have checked this earlier. Yeah, wait a second. You're not a match. Okay. It's not like Marcel was scratched by misapprehension. Or Wally. Why do you call Wally Wally, but you want to be called Marcel? That's
Wally and
weird.
I were very close. Always.
You don't say. But how about this note here?
Seems like there was tension between the two of you after all.
Once Wally saw himself becoming me, well, he started to become unreasonable. It was still my club. He was the manager. And he did a superb job in that capacity. But I did not want to share everything with him. Oh, he started threatening to leave. Oh, so much drama. But I know he would have straightened things out. We always did. For better or worse, in sickness and in health, until death do us part.
Wait, have you guys been married?
For
Okay.
all our ups and downs, Wally and I never stopped being friends. I've been staying at his place for the last couple of months. I was there last night, waiting for him to come home.
How can you
I
prove
don't
it?
think so, but no, wait. I was using his computer. I was chatting with a few old friends. Don't they call it IMing? Anyway, I can give you Wally's password. I'm sure if you take a look at the computer, you will be able to verify what I'm saying.
All right, Marcel. We'll do that.
All right. Back to Wally's. It's a tiny backyard.
We'll bring Wally's computer back to the lab, and we should be able to confirm whether Marcel was online or not.
Okay. Back to the lab. Webcam images. Oh, okay.
Well, if the clock on the wall is right, then Marcel was at Wally's apartment at the time of the murder.
You could, yeah, but you could always change the time on a clock. I don't know. Yeah, let's go back to the interrogation room.
We looked at Wally's computer like you suggested, and we saw that you were indeed using it all evening.
I always was the innocent one. With this killer on the loose, though, I don't know that I feel safe leaving just yet. I'm happy to help any way I can.
Anything you
Nothing
need
comes
to
to
tell us?
mind.
Yeah, I have some good news. We were able to dig up all the old Barber Street Boozer case files for you. They were buried down in Central Property. I had them sent over to the lab. Let me know if you find anything.
Okay. You're free to go for now. Don't leave town.
What's up, Ray? Ray?
Oh, sorry. I didn't hear you come in. I understand you may have a serial killer who's come out of retirement. I was curious. I hope you don't mind.
Not at all. We could use your expertise, actually. Right now, we're just fishing. There's no evidence linking the previous Barber Street Boozer murders to the murder of Floyd Callister.
You mean Wallace Biganowski, don't you?
Actually, we're trying to keep that information on a need-to-know for the time being.
Okay. Well, in looking through the old case files, we have 4 male victims, each one from a different race and socioeconomic background. Each was married.
That's
Now,
interesting.
the common thread that ties these men together is the desire to explore their homosexual tendencies through the apparent safety of a male presenting himself as a female.
Anyone stand
There were
up?
several, actually, which was part of the problem back in 1975. But here's something interesting for you. Out of the LVPD's top 4 suspects, 2 are now deceased, and the other 2 are going to be very familiar to you.
You're kidding. Floyd Callister and Wallace Biganowski. According to this police report, both of them had been arrested multiple times for solicitation as well as lewd and lascivious behavior in public.
Well, we got their rap sheet, huh? Physical evidence?
Yes, there is. We have 10 cards for both Floyd Callister and Wallace Biganowski, and we have a bottle of unidentified alcohol.
If we were able to match brands of alcohol from yesterday and today, it might mean we're dealing with the same serial killer.
Or a copycat. I should get back. Riley thinks I'm picking up lunch. Give me a call if you need me.
Cool. Well, we've got a lot of evidence now. my thing, and then there's their thing. Oh, look, they match.
Serial killers are certainly creatures of habit, as well as ritual. The liquor used to poison the four men in 1975 was classic cork whiskey, which is the same brand that was used to kill Walls Beganowski last night. I'm going to ask Brass to help us get in touch with the detectives who worked the original Barber Street Boozer murders. Maybe they can help us better contextualize some of this evidence.
Yeah?
Hey, our case.
Do you think there's any way we can talk to the detectives who originally worked the Barber Street murder cases?
Detectives Glenn Krautman and Maurice Briggs. Glenn died of prostate cancer 6 years ago, and Maurice just retired. I hear you had some input on her final case. She lives out in Boulder City. I'll get her number and have her come down.
Oh, yeah, that lady.
Hopefully, she might have held on to some of her original case notes.
Hey.
Thank you so much for taking the time to come out here.
It's the least I can do. I thought you might try to get in touch with me. I saw the news. Floyd Collister, murdered in his own club.
Well,
the news didn't give many details, but you think it might be the boozer, don't you?
Or a copycat.
Possibly.
The MO is similar. Male victim forced to ingest a toxic level of distilled alcohol. Murder took place in the same neighborhood as well. The MO, as I said, is similar, but it's not exactly the same. This victim isn't married, nor was he someone who could be described as a closeted homosexual.
The one that got away. The most frustrating case I ever worked, and my biggest regret, for so many reasons. Glenn and I worked as hard as we could to close this case. But I have to tell you the truth. The department, at that time, did not consider the boozer the highest priority.
Well, because of that.
That's right. It's shameful, but there it
It's
is.
shameful. You
I
guys
can only
are terrible.
imagine what we might have been
Life's
able to
life.
do if some people's hearts and minds had been different back then. Fortunately, for whatever reason, the boozer decided to stop on his own. Glenn and I both believed the killer was most likely someone merely posing as a transvestite prostitute in order to lure his victims. But witness testimony kept pushing us toward a couple of actual prostitutes, one of whom was Mr. Collister, and the other was a young man named Wally Beganowski. And I believe later on, those two gentlemen opened up a rather popular nightclub together.
Well, I think one of them would say that they opened the nightclub, and the other one would be like, I also opened it, but I don't get credit.
We've gone
You
over
got
the
leads?
suspect file, but we're wondering if there's someone else we might be overlooking.
There was this one guy. I'd have to go through my notes here to recall his name exactly. I thought he was particularly interesting, but I'll admit it might have been feminine intuition or something ridiculous like that, because Glenn didn't agree with me, so I kept it out of our official reports.
What was intuition telling you about this guy?
As I can recall, and you should definitely go over my notes here, these are the originals. This fella had been charged with assaulting one of the victims maybe 4 months before the murders began. Let's see if I can remember the scenario for you. So this John comes down to the neighborhood looking for some love for sale. He ends up picking up a prostitute outside a club on Barber Street, and this prostitute is dressed like a lady. But before they could get down to doing their business, my suspect, whom I remember thought of himself as a kind of knight in shining armor, swoops down and beats this John up pretty good, defending the honor of this lady.
Suspect
Really?
Gary Beaumont,
Wait
arrested
a second.
October 12th, 1975, assault. Victim Lon Muskie. Muskie was in the act of soliciting another male for the purpose of prostitution. Muskie released from police custody, not charged.
Let me get this straight. Gary attacks this guy Muskie, and a few weeks later, Muskie becomes one of the Barber Street Boozer victims?
And then 35 years later, who should discover our latest victim but Gary Beaumont?
Oh ho ho. It could be Gary. Gary could be the one.
Well, Brass ran Gary Beaumont through the system, but he has no known address. Brass put out a bolo,
Odd.
but I'm hoping we can find Gary ourselves.
I'm sure it won't hurt to talk to Mr. Beaumont again. But I agree with Maurice's partner. He's not your man.
What makes
Why
you
do you
say
say
that?
that?
The Barber Street Boozer obviously felt homicidal rage towards his victims. Married men who were secretly soliciting sex from male prostitutes dressed as women. Wallace Beganowski was an unmarried, openly gay female impersonator. Based on the circumstances surrounding Mr. Beaumont's assault charge, I'd say he was the kind of man who would have wanted to protect Wally, not hurt him, and
With the
certainly
way
not
that he
kill him.
spoke,
Well, from
it,
what I
it
saw
does
of
sound
Mr.
that way.
Beaumont's behavior at the crime scene and at the morgue, he would have to be a supremely talented actor. He was on an emotional roller coaster.
Could Gary have done
Maybe.
it originally?
For a serial killer, murder is an addiction. Recovery requires a lifelong commitment to some deliberate strategy of behavior modification. And unfortunately, there is no 12-step program for cold-blooded killing. So serial killers usually stop when they're caught or they die. In my professional opinion, if Gary Beaumont is a serial killer, it's difficult to believe that he just decided one day to stop cold turkey.
You're probably right, Ray, but I still think we should bring him in just in case. Cover all the bases. And if Beaumont's been such a loyal customer all these years, maybe Marcel knows where he likes to hang out when he's not at the cabaret.
Probably. They probably know. Let's go check out the notes. Yeah, we know. Not my first rodeo, guys. Wait a second. There's something written there. Yeah, look at that.
That's peculiar. Lon Muskie's name was written down in a different type of ink stock.
Well, let's think.
What do you need?
I'd like to talk to... I'd like to talk to Marcel first. I don't think we have enough for the warrant.
Not gonna be a problem. She seems to be in no hurry to go anywhere.
Hey, we're looking for Gary.
Gary? You think Gary had something to do with this?
We just want to ask him a few more questions, that's all.
Gary's harmless. I mean, he's a pain in the ass because he's always just hanging around needing attention, but he couldn't really hurt anybody, I don't think.
Well, you
He
know,
gets thrown out of some
that type
places
can be
because
the bad
he's
guy.
awkward, a little strange. Sometimes he smells, but it's... he's homeless. I wanted to help him,
that's
but
why
I
he has
never
the
really
holes
had the
in his
time,
sweater.
you know? I mean, I didn't bother him when I found him pretty much living in the alley behind the club.
Marcel, were
cold
you
case.
aware that back in 1975, Floyd Collister was on a list of suspects in the Barber Street murders?
Yes, Floyd used to get into a lot of trouble with the police. He was a hooker and he took drugs. But, like I said, that's not the real reason why the police thought he was a deviant.
Well,
Anyway, that's all water under the bridge now, isn't that right? He cooperated fully, as I recall, answered all the questions. They let him go, and after that, I decided that Floyd should move on, and he did.
If I told you that out of the 4 male prostitutes that were identified as possible suspects back then, you're the only one left alive, what would you say to that?
Ma'am, you're wrong. They're all dead.
don't be like that. I mean, I get it. I understand. And also, doing drugs and the other thing you were doing is not, it's not on the high list of things that the police would be like, oh yeah, we're cool with you. No. I mean, the other thing, probably also terrible, because it was 1975, or in the 70s, whenever it was at. And, you know, they really focused on a morality thing, when really you should focus on laws. So, anything
I'm
else
sorry,
you know?
but I really have nothing more to say to you.
Hey, we got a new place. Man, that looks torn up. And your drink. That's fantastic.
Hey, what's going on?
Classic cork, huh? Gary, for a homeless guy, you sure have expensive taste in booze.
Oh, dude.
Hand over the bottle, Gary.
Yeah, we need that.
Yeah, of course, here. Well, what's wrong? Why are you looking at me like that, huh?
Not exactly a 4-star hotel.
At least he has a thing. Oh, what's this?
It's a love letter to Wally. From Gary.
Oh, okay. Well, what else we got?
Anyone can get in and out of the club through here.
You just waltz in, you don't even pay the cover. That's probably what he does. Oh, a dumpster. Holy cats, that's a lot of the same stuff.
It would have taken at least this much alcohol to kill Biganowski.
An apron? Or is that a bundle? I don't know.
What do you think? We'll need to process it. Could have been used to tie up our victim.
Okay, well. We've got everything from there. From all the places now, right? But we haven't checked out the bottom. Oh, this is Gary's. There we go. Probably Gary's thumbprint.
That's just where
Fingerprint.
Gary was holding the bottle.
Yep. How about this apron? Oh, oh, oh. Got some
Tell you what,
blood.
I'll buy you dinner if that DNA doesn't come back a match to our victim.
Okay. Well, that's not what I need. DNA. Yellow, green, blue. Blue, green, red. Oh, okay, I see. Now that one. And then this one goes there. Oh, it's all falling into place now, isn't it? No. Okay. They match. The blood on the apron. Somebody threw away the apron.
Told ya. Too bad about dinner. Maybe next time.
Yep. Now I got a print to check. Watch it be the same guy. Jeez, look at that. They match.
Gary practically lives at the club, and he found Bieganowski's body, but I have no idea why his prints would be on a case of booze nowhere near the crime scene.
Okay, let's go get a warrant.
Yeah?
I think we have
What
something that we can
evidence
bring him
do
in
we
on
have?
this time. Because the other one, I don't think would have worked, right? But I think this.
Gary's got access to the club, and that bottle of classic cork might as well be a smoking gun, right? You bet we're bringing him in.
I'll have Ray join you in interrogation. I think this is right up his alley.
Okay, okay.
Mr. Beaumont, we found your fingerprints on a case of whiskey in Marcel's club.
What can I say? I saw the case on the floor. It was already open. I needed it. My hands, they were shaking so bad. I just needed that drink so badly.
But Gary, that was the same whiskey used to poison Mr. Bieganowski.
What?
Which kind of odd.
I just needed a drink. I didn't use it to kill Wally.
Makes us
Why
think you're
didn't you
keeping
say
other
something
things from
about
us.
the club?
No, it's not like I always sleep there. I try to stay at the shelter, but sometimes it's full, so I have to stay where I don't bother anybody.
Okay.
Open your
DNA
mouth,
time.
please.
Yes, of course.
Well, I got the DNA. Anything else you want to do? Oh, here we go.
What? Of course not. I had no reason to be mad at Wally.
But we found a note that just sent him.
We found your letter to Wally. You had some real feelings for him.
Too bad. He just wasn't that into you, huh? Gosh, I know how that can hurt, right? Makes you wish you could sit him down and just talk.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe tie
just
him
talk.
down so he doesn't
Not
go
tie him
anywhere
down.
while you're sharing all those real feelings. Maybe try to change his mind a little with a drink or two or three. Or hell, maybe the whole damn bottle, huh? Isn't that pretty much how it went
You're
down?
putting the
Gary?
horse before the cart.
No, it wasn't like that at all. I loved Miss A. I loved her so much.
Let's all just calm down for a second. Why didn't you give Miss A the letter?
I just wanted to write down my feelings. For once in my life, I wanted to be honest with myself. She knew how I felt about her. I told her. I said, I love you. And she looked at me, kind of puzzled, and said, it must be so nice to be able to say those words and mean them. And then she walked away from me. I wasn't even sure what she meant, but I had my answer.
Is that
We
enough
would
to
always just be
off
friends.
him?
And I could live with that.
That's a lovely story, Gary, but will a jury believe it? If you're innocent, you better start answering our questions. All of them.
Okay. Okay, I'll tell you whatever you want.
That's
Why
your
would
apron?
I have an apron? Doesn't make sense. I'd never even seen that apron before.
Okay. You assaulted
4 months
that guy.
later, Muskie's found dead in his car off Barber Street.
Lon Muskie, is that his name? I never asked. Sure, I beat him up, but he deserved it. He would take my friends out on dates, and they would come back bruised, sometimes bleeding.
Oh, that's
I
not
wanted
good.
to teach him how to treat a lady in a language he would understand. But I didn't try to kill him. He should have gone to jail. But that detective, she let him go. But what can you expect, huh? You guys look out for each other, and I can't blame you.
I don't
What
look out
do
for
you
them.
mean we look out for each other? Do you mean we cops look out for each other? Muskie wasn't a cop.
No, you guys, black people. I'm sorry, I mean
Oh,
African Americans.
That's a big.
Oh, now I've gone and put my foot in my mouth.
No.
Well, that's what happened, okay? That black lady detective showed up and let him go.
Huh.
I don't remember exactly what she looked like. I remember that her badge surprised me. I'd never seen a black woman detective before.
Wait a second, you're saying Detective Warrick Briggs knew this guy and just let him go because she was black and he was black? Is that the load of bull you're trying to sell us about one of the most distinguished officers this department has ever known?
Please, I'm
well.
only telling you what I remember. I'm not making anything up, I swear.
We've
Maybe it
seen
wasn't
stranger
just
things,
a black
right?
thing. Come to think of it, the way they argued, maybe they knew each other. She did say she was giving him a ride home. I mean, I think. It was a really long time ago.
Setting aside Mr. Beaumont's racial insensitivities, I think we need to take a better look at Detective Briggs' involvement in all of this.
You want to know what I think? I think this guy's a lying sack.
This is a photograph of Lon Muskie from the Barber Street murders case file. Is this the man you assaulted?
No, that's not the guy. I mean, I'm sure I'd remember him, and that's not him.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's strange. But take a look at this photograph, then. This is another Barber Street boozer victim. His name is Matthew Dawes. Is this the man?
That's him. That's the guy that hurt my friends. Matthew Dawes.
If what you say is true, why would Warrick write a different name in her notes?
To protect Matthew Dawes, obviously. Okay, but...
Did I hear Ray right? Detective Briggs's personal case notes were wrong? She must have known the victim was named Matthew Dawes. I hate to say it, I think we need to get to the bottom of her involvement in all this.
I can't believe it. And I'm not just saying that because I think this Beaumont guy's lying to us. Even if he were telling us God's honest truth, retired Detective Warrick Briggs is one of the most dedicated and well-respected officers to ever serve in Las Vegas law enforcement.
Yeah, but it still could be a... Whoops.
Hey.
I hate to do this, but we need to go search her home.
No judge is going to permit you to compromise her rights without some very compelling evidence.
The name of the victim was written in different ink. These notes were altered after the fact to remove all trace of Matthew Dawes' name.
Which is
I
interesting.
can't believe she deliberately tried to mislead us, but the evidence speaks for itself. Okay, I'll go with you to serve the warrant.
Why don't you take Nick along, too? Another pair of eyes won't hurt.
We got Nick with us this time. Grand finale of Agents. Can't skip this one. It must be loading up. You live in a trailer?
What's going on here, Jim?
We need to talk, Warrick. You gotta tell me what's going on. You changed your case notes. You omitted the fact that you knew Matthew Dawes. Why did you do that, Warrick? There's no way I can help you unless you tell me the whole truth.
Jim, you've got a lot of nerve coming in here like this. Like I'm some sort of common criminal. I gave my life serving this city. I demand some damn respect.
Why do you have that boarded up?
It's a shrine. I've known some cops who could never let go of some cases, but not like this.
You can have twine places? Or we're just here for the truth? That's all.
Now that's funny. You go on, take a look around, take what you need, and then get the hell off my property.
Whoa, is this the right RV? More Barber Street boozer paraphernalia, nothing we don't already have.
Why? Why do you still have this? Anything else? Just pictures. Devil. Something bushes. By the bushes?
The Barber Street area.
This is not really helping now, is it? No. You even have it at your bed? Why, what's this?
I never would have pictured you in pink, Warrick.
Maurice knew this Dawes guy all right. Looks like they were more than just acquaintances. All the convenience of a real one.
Taking all the pain away with the wave of a hand. Were you married to this guy? And... Huh. Okay, well. I think I got everything. It says we searched it all, so let's go back to the lab.
Hey, I'm off the clock, but if you guys need a hand, count me in. The Barber Street Boozer is a part of Vegas history. If he's back, then I want to be there when we take him in.
Thanks, Greg. We can use all the help we can get.
Nothing here. Why is this even here as like a place to go? I don't get it. Maybe it's the pad that they're on us or something. Well, I only got two things to compare, so we might as well compare both of them, right? Nope. Why golly, they're both pink. Wait. Oh, look at that. There we go.
Yep, the fiber we found in Detective Briggs' trailer matches the apron found in the dumpster. Now, what was she doing at that club?
Oh man, did she get? This doesn't make sense. Was she the original thing?
What do you need?
She's gonna be so mad.
I know
at
this is tough, Jim.
Look, I'm not gonna lie to you. This is very personal to me, and I'm not gonna do anything to impugn the reputation of Detective Briggs. So if you don't start bringing me some indisputable physical evidence that puts her in that club, killing Beganowski, then I'm not gonna do a damn thing for you on this one.
We found this fiber, and it's related to the apron.
Are you sure this is right? Okay. So the fiber from the apron puts Detective Briggs at the crime scene. I don't know. If you weren't the one asking, I'd say go back and try again. But I'll see what I can do. I'm not promising anything. In fact, I hope the judge turns us down.
Looks like they didn't.
Detective Briggs, we found the victim's blood on an apron behind the club. A thread from that same apron was in your home.
That's why you brought me in? I probably had the same kind of apron at some time. That's no evidence. How dare you accuse me of this?
Are you gonna
Maurice,
start to cry?
I may be the only friend you have right now. You have the right to talk to your lawyer, but you and me, we're cops. I know where you're coming from. Talk to me.
Just because I carried a badge doesn't make me your sister, Jim. You have no idea where I come from or what I've been through.
Really? We're going with that? Well,
I'm
let's get your
sorry, we'll
DNA.
need to swab the inside of your mouth.
You go right ahead and do your job then. Matthew Dawes? No, who's that?
He was a victim of the Barber Street Boozer. Gary Beaumont seemed to think you had shown Mr. Dawes preferential treatment in an earlier altercation.
Gary Beaumont is a criminal. You're gonna take his word over mine?
And he's
I
homeless.
don't know any Matthew Dawes.
Bad.
We found a photo of you and Matthew together. You were obviously close.
If you already knew that, why'd you ask the question?
To get your side of it. This is just like, well, why don't you just Google it? No, because sometimes you get more if you ask somebody a question and they can, give their personal take of it.
I told you, I heard about this on the news, same as everyone. I never saw the victim before.
Oh, ho, ho. We'll be back. I never saw the victim. Well, you know what? You gave us your DNA. Perhaps you can back that up. See, we have your DNA, so we know that's yours, right? And then we have this. Now, if this doesn't match, then you're in the clear. If it does match, then you got some explaining to do. Because after all, DNA doesn't really lie. I mean, especially if it's found under the person's nails. Even if they aren't drag, you know, you're still gonna have that stuff. Surprisingly, this DNA thing hasn't been too hard. Oop, there we go. It's just in sets of 3 instead of like the 4, which is kind of different. And there's a 2 right there. Oh, look, they match. Oh, that's not good
The
for you.
DNA under Beganowski's fingernails matches Detective Briggs. I can't believe a cop would kill someone like that.
She was a hero in the department. I'm not looking forward to that press conference.
I guess this means the Barber Street Boozer remains on the loose. Or maybe he's just passed into legend.
Greg, we're not done with Detective Briggs yet. She may still hold the answer to the Boozer case.
Well, this is just becoming interesting, right?
I never saw the victim before.
Oh, you lied. Your DNA was under their nails, and usually that's from struggle. At least that's what they say on the crime shows.
We found your DNA under the victim's fingernails.
It's over, Warrick. We have all the evidence we need to charge you. It just doesn't make sense. Why would you kill this man? Why were you even in that club that night?
Have you ever lost someone you truly loved? Grief is like a cancer.
What are you
Matthew
grieving over?
Dawes was my fiancé. He was the Barber Street Boozer's third victim. He was the only man I ever really loved, with my body and soul. But the man struggled with a sickness, with a disease.
You're trying to say he was gay. That's not a disease, Warrick.
It's a sin and a sickness. But we were working it out. We were praying, and we would have beaten this thing together. I know we would have. But then that monster took him away from me.
While he was beating up people.
Do you mean Floyd Collister?
Hell yes, Floyd Collister. He was the boozer.
How long have you suspected that Floyd was the Barber Street Boozer?
I don't suspect it. I know it. I had looked at Floyd for the killings before, more than once. I could never make it stick. Honestly, from talking to him, I didn't think he had it in him. I'd even been to that freak show club of his a few times.
Well,
but
this
I never
lady's
saw
not very
anything like I
nice.
did last
She's
night.
not walking in love.
I was just sitting in the back, watching for Collister or Beganowski or Beaumont, anyone on the list. No one paid me the least bit of attention. And then I noticed Floyd Collister walk in. It was hard to recognize him without the makeup and the dress, but there he was. And he was one mean son of a bitch for a change. Drunk, screaming at everybody. He even jumped all over Gary for going behind the bar and opening up a special stash of classic cork he was saving.
Oh, well, that explains
Floyd
that.
started threatening Gary. You want a drink? I'll give you a drink. How about you drink until the black stuff starts oozing out your damn nose, you dirty old queen? That's when I knew, after all these years, I knew in my heart, in my gut, it was Floyd Collister. It was Floyd all along. He was the monster. It was Floyd all along. He killed Matthew.
I don't think she killed anybody. I think she might have confronted the other person or something, but I don't think she killed. I could be wrong, right? But this Floyd guy, he's using language that he said he wasn't going to use, right? Like, so he's not a very nice person.
It wasn't revenge. It was justice.
Oh,
Justice?
okay.
What the hell are you talking about, Warrick? What's happened to you?
I'm a cop, Jim. What's happened to me? I never stopped working the case. That's what's happened to me. Even after they forced me off of it, threatened to transfer me, I never let it go. It was personal, don't you get it? That disgusting creature murdered the best man I've ever known.
What'd you do then?
I had to take him down. I knew I didn't have enough proof, but I didn't need it. I waited, put up with that awful damn music, until closing time. I was the last one left. Floyd came out in that ridiculous dress to tell me the place was closed. I acted like I was leaving, but when he turned his back, I hit him with a hammer fist to the back of the head, knocked him clean out. I may be old, but I can still take down a perp.
Well,
I tied him up with an apron from behind the
you
bar,
took down the wrong
opened
person.
up a bottle of classic cork, and started pouring it down his throat. He was slurring drunk by the time he woke up. I almost wished I'd held back a little, so that he could have appreciated his situation a little better.
How did your DNA get under his fingernails?
I got careless, let him grab me while I was coming in with a fresh bottle. Not that he could hold on to me by then. He just kept whining, "Not me, not me," crying like a damn baby. I bet Matthew didn't cry, you filthy bastard.
You got the wrong... Well, this is just gonna rain on your parade. So not only did you perpetrate a crime, but it wasn't even the right person you were going after.
Floyd Collister didn't perform last night. You killed his understudy, Wallace Biganowski.
That's impossible. I saw him go backstage. I saw him go back there and come out dressed as a woman. I saw him.
Detective, I think you were right when you said grief is like a cancer. Your fiancé wasn't sick, but you are. And now you'll have to pay for your sin as well.
Oh God, what have I done? I killed him, not me. Oh God, no, no.
Well, we'll still get the boozer, but seriously, like, you done goofed. The consequences are never gonna be the same.
Is there anything you can tell us that might help us put away the boozer?
I don't know, I can't. The hairs. Did you ever get any of Collister's DNA? Did you try running it against the hairs from the crime scene? I tried, maybe 15 years ago, but there just wasn't enough there for a sample. But your lab already found one impossible sample from that skin flake.
I went through the cold case evidence very thoroughly. There was no hair.
There's got to be. I checked it into Central Property myself.
I'll go to Central Property, but in the meantime, Warrick Briggs, you're under arrest for the murder of Wallace Biganowski.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for her. Let's go back to the lab. Oh my gosh. That's terrible.
Warrick was right about that hair. It was in a separate folder, but otherwise exactly where it was supposed to be. They just missed it when they sent over the rest of the Barber Street boozer.
Boy, that lighting doesn't help his face. So, we got hair here. This is it. This is it. We're gonna find out. Back then, they, didn't have the same type of testing for this kind of thing, right? But now we have this puzzle. This is how they solve these crimes, right? They just go around matching DNA. Not really. Could you imagine? Like, yeah, we just match the colors together. That's how we get them. Each time, it's really accurate. The only drawback is just how slow it takes to move the thing over to say which is what. Yeah, that works. I guess they slow it down so you can be precise since you're using a thumbstick. Oh, look, it's a match.
Whoa. Marcel is the Barber Street boozer? Unbelievable. I've got to put this in my book.
Brass better be ready for the press conference of his career.
Well, what about me? What about me? I did the work. We're a team. And
Yeah?
justice is the important part.
I'll see what I can do. Show me the evidence.
show you the evidence. You see this hair that you just gave me? Well, I checked it, and it didn't take as long as it takes in real life to test the DNA in this game, so, it's a match.
It's the last call for Floyd Collister. I'll pick him up.
Hey, we know that you're the boozer.
Haven't I made it abundantly clear that Floyd Collister is but a distant memory?
It doesn't work
He
that way.
might as well be dead and buried.
You're gonna...
Don't
well,
you
I don't
think
know.
it's unhealthy to obsess about the past? There's nothing we can do to change it. It is what it is.
You know the problem with the past is it's never passed. We have your DNA, Marcel. We know you murdered those boys.
I did, didn't I? No matter how hard I try, I will never escape him. He's always a part of me. Even though, truly, Captain Brass, I am not Floyd Collister. Not anymore, anyway.
That was a dig at Brass.
Marcel wishes with
for
all her
dead
heart
naming.
that she could change what happened. But you cannot choose your destiny.
Life's a bitch.
I shall confess to all the unfortunate and dreadful details, Captain. But I shall refuse to my dying breath to say I killed Wally because I absolutely did not. I may have broken his heart, but I would have never extinguished his soul.
Okay. So, what happened
I
with
only
Wally's
left out
body?
a few minor details.
Like removing the apron and chair?
I don't know. They seem to obviously bring the boozer to mind, and I didn't want anyone to make the association.
But we
You
did.
can't run from your past.
I never thought of it as running. I chose to think of it as metamorphosis. Perhaps even redemption. I was reborn as Marcel. All that rage and fear was gone. I was free. And for 35 years, I was bathed in love. Oh, what a glorious ride.
Floyd Collister. You're under arrest for the murder of Matthew Dawes, Lon Muskie, Gus D'Souza.
Congratulations on a job
did it.
very well done. Not only did we solve a celebrity case, we closed a cold case as well. Eckley couldn't be more pleased. I realize you've only been with us for a short time, but you're a true professional. It's funny, I was just thinking the other day how you remind me of a criminalist who used to work with us, Warrick Brown. You have his fire. Don't ever lose that. Anyway, you're a great asset
what
to the
happened to
team.
Warrick?
I hope you're with us for a long time. Now go home and get some
what hap-
rest.
Well, I don't like that. Did something happen to work? I'm only into season 4. There are 15 seasons of this show alone, and then spin-offs. Oh gosh, did something happen to Warrick? I guess I'll just have to keep watching the show. Don't spoil it in the chat. There's no chat. Man, Lawrence Fishburne got first billing. That's interesting because there's these other people who have been in the show, right? But okay. So that's it. CSI Deadly Intent. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Give a thumbs up, a like, comment, sub, do all the YouTube stuff. I don't know what's up next, but surely it will be something interesting. As interesting as this has been. And I might continue this format of uploading a video rather than recording. Going live. And that's simply because right now with the weather out here, it's just upload is not the best while things are cooling off. So, oh well. Have a great day. Stay cool. Make sure you hydrate. And as always, take care.